Back with another video. About to do a brake job on my car right behind me. Yes, sir. And I'm gonna show you what brakes I got. So here I got Detroit Axle brand, ceramic brake pads, and drilled and slotted rotors. Comes with the hardware, brake clean, and they give you some brake fluid, .3. That's what my car takes, the 01 to 05 Civic, which most cars take .3 and .4. And they supply a pack of grease, but I'm gonna use my own grease. Gonna be using what you're gonna need if you ever do this job: a wire brush, some thread locker, copper anti-seize, some silicone grease or paste will work. Brake clean, CRC is a good brand, and you can go to your local auto store and rent out a brake pad spreader to compress the piston back in. When I get to that point, and I'll show you what this is, how to use it. So on this car, I'm gonna use a 19mm socket to crack the lug nuts free. Also got a specialized socket because if you watched my new tires and wheels and lug nut install video, if you haven't seen that, check that video out down below. But that's VMS gave me a specialized socket, and I used that in that video. And this is what I'm gonna use to go onto this 19mm socket to crack them free. Crack free. I'm gonna do the other side, so when I jack up both sides, that side will already be done. Alright guys, I jacked up both sides of the car. Now I'm about to take off the lug nuts from the wheel. I'm gonna do the passenger side for y'all on this one particular video. I'm gonna just do one side so that y'all can see how to do a brake pad and a rotor replacement on a 01 to 05 Honda Civic. Once you finish everything, I'm gonna put some more anti-seize on it again after taking the lug nuts off. So move the wheel off, get that out the way, and if you want, for extra security, I'll take your wheel off and put it underneath your car just for safety. Alright, got this to the nitty gritty. Alrighty, so let's see if y'all can see that. Y'all can see that? Alright, to make your life a lot easier, I'm gonna go to the driver's seat, and turn the wheel so I can give you some space to turn this whole assembly in a where you can get leverage, because you're gonna have to remove these caliper bolts from the back of here. So we got two 12mm bolts, one down here and one up here, to remove the caliper. And later on we're gonna remove the, I think there's two 17mm holding the caliper bracket to the knuckle. We'll take that off after we take the brake pads out. two 12mm. Break them free. Two 12s. To compress it, you gotta have a flat head. Come right off. Now make sure you move this out the way, and don't want to bend your brake lines, so find somewhere to hang it up out the way. Should be able to bungee cord it with this one up to somewhere. Put it through here. Just have to get it out the way so I can free the caliper bracket. You don't want that brake line bending. There you go. Alright. So I got it hanged up, you can see, to my strut. On my shocks, I should say. Alright. Now we got 17mm caliper bolts on the back holding this up, the bracket, to the knuckle. So get a 17mm socket. So I'm gonna go ahead and use a 17mm socket and ratchet to break free the caliper bolts holding to the knuckle. Let's see, y'all guys can see it. There you go. Go ahead and move the brake pads too. Forgot to go ahead and do that. Oh my gosh. Before I go ahead and take off the bracket, I'm gonna show you the brake pads. Look at how low these brake pads are. This is the backing plate. This is the amount of tread that's left on my brake pads. It ain't nothing but straight metal on metal on my rotors. Oh yeah, these definitely need to be replaced. There's nothing, no thickness to it. I'm gonna show you the new ones. to compare to the old ones too. Put this to the side. I'm gonna go ahead and continue taking the bracket off. Okay, the bracket's off. Now we're gonna go ahead and take off the rotor, and to make it easier to take the rotor off, we might as well turn the wheel back the other way. Alright you guys, so we got the bracket off and we're down to the rotor now to take off. We got screws that hold in this rotor. Some rotors don't have screws, but this one does. So I got a screwdriver. I'm gonna go ahead and just unscrew these. Okay, crack them free. Okay, crack them free. Alright, let's take off the old rotor. See, I expected it not to come off. So, I'm gonna get a hammer and you're gonna hit the outside of the rotor to break free. Like that. It comes off like so. You see the old rotor, it's rusted. Definitely needed time for replacement. The hub looks rusted. It was rusted to the hub. You want to get a wire brush and brush this down, making sure the surface is smooth. You want to get a wire brush and start just brushing this rust off. You guys can see that. See, I got most of the surface rust off, and you want to make sure it's smooth as possible. You don't want it to feel rough, but that looks good to slap on the new rotor. All right, I'm gonna grab the new rotor. Let me show y'all a comparison of the new ones and the old one. In the packaging, they put a oily film on there so that it won't rust. So here it says Troy Axle Premium Drill Slider Disc Rotor coated with zinc Datro made for rust prevention. So they make sure of that so it won't rust in the package on the way to shipping it to your house. So what I'm gonna do, move this old one. I'm gonna spray it with brake clean to get rid of the oil film. You wanna do the front and back. You wanna spray it with brake clean. And wipe it down with a paper towel. Sealed up. And in the back, make sure it lines up with the holes. What I like to do is put a lug nut to hold it in place. So I'll move. Put your screws back in. Just getting the rust off the screws. Screw them back in. Now you want to install your caliper back on. Caliper hardware, because I'm gonna take the old clips out. Like that. Put the new ones in. Probably clean up the surface where it rested. It's supposed to just clip in like so. You want to make sure these slider pins are greased up and they move freely in and out when you put them in here like this. They move nice and free. So you want to use some silicone paste or silicone grease will work. You want to clean up the old grease. So I got some silicone grease. And just put that on there like so. And rub that around. Put that back in. Alright guys, I got my 17mm caliper bracket bolts back on. I'm going to go ahead and torque them down to, I believe, 80 foot-pounds. And then after that, I'm going to go ahead and put my brake pads in, my new brake pads. I'm going to show you what the old brake pads look like compared to the new brake pads. Show you how much tread life they have on them, or pad wear. Then after that, I'm going to go ahead and put the caliper on, and then put the tighten down the 12mm nuts. But let's go ahead and put the new brake pads in and lube them up. All right, you guys, these are the new pads from Detroit Axle. You can see how thick that is, how much brake pad. These are ceramic brake pads. They'll last longer than your semi-metallic pads. And these are the old ones. As you can see, there's nothing on it. Literally, I was grinding on middle. crazy. And this one is nothing on it either. Definitely needed to replace my brake pads. So now I got this copper anti-seize. You want to put some on your ends here. Here, you want to put some here, and you can put a little bit lightly on the backing plate, but try to avoid, do not put no grease. Do not try to put your fingers, none of that grease, lubricant on the pad itself, because that will cause your brake system to fail. Get rid of these old ones. Okay, so update you guys what I'm doing. I'm putting a little bit on the back, on the ends here, lightly on the back. This will stop the squeaks. After a while, your brakes break in. You'll notice if you don't put nothing on the back here, they'll tend to start squeaking. That's because whoever installs your brake pads or installs brakes don't put enough lube on in the beginning. That's good. Alright, now I'm installing my brake pads. You want this little tab piece to go on the bottom. There you go. You can see that. Now I gotta do the front side. There you go. Alright, now I want to decompress my piston. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take an old brake pad. I'm going to put it in there like that. Like this. Take my brake piston compressor tool. Make sure it's in there. And I'm going to start turning it until the piston bottoms out. It's getting tight. Okay, means it's bottomed out. You can loosen it up. Take the pad out. Alright, you guys, I finished putting on the caliper bolts and the caliper bracket and the slide pin bolts and torquing them down. You torque the slide pins to 25 foot-pounds and the caliper bolts to 80 foot-pounds. Done with the passenger side. It took me a little while due to the lighting. So I hope you guys enjoyed this install on the brake pads and rotors. Give me a thumbs up and make sure you hit that subscribe button if you want to see more content. Thank you guys.